In nursing school, grit will get you further than intelligence. I'll say that again so it lands. Grit, further than intelligence. 10 times further. I've been a nurse, I've been a TA in anatomy and physiology, and I've watched this play out over and over again. So, you're in nursing school. Some of you have aced literally everything up to this point. You were the curve setter, the one people hated a little bit for getting a 98 when everyone else got a 71. Well, nursing school has already started doing something to that confidence, and you don't love it. Then some of you are sitting there thinking you don't deserve to be here. Like somebody made a clerical error, and it's only a matter of time before they figure it out. Here's what I want to say to both groups right out of the gate. You're probably wrong. Both of you. And I'm going to spend the next however long explaining why and giving you the actual playbook for getting through this. Getting a job. Getting through this, getting a job and becoming a nurse people actually want to work with. Let's go. Section 1. You are not a doctor. And that's the whole point. Here's something nobody frames when you start nursing school. Doctors, lawyers, CEOs, those people have to stand out. They have to walk into a room and show everyone what they can do. Their whole career is built on being the smartest person in the room, making the call, being right. That is not your job. Your job is to give people ice cream, to get the IV in the right spot, to be the person that actually shows up, does the thing, communicates clearly, and functions as part of a team. And that sounds simple. It's not simple. It is one of the hardest professional skill sets to actually develop. And nursing school is only going to teach you part of it. The doctors make the orders. You're the one at the bedside at 3 a.m. when the patient is scared. You're the one who notices something is off before it becomes a code. And you're the one managing 6 patients, a confused family member, a coworker having a bad day, and the call light that won't stop going off simultaneously. And that's a completely different set of skills than getting straight A's. And the sooner you orient yourself to that version of what you're becoming, the better off you're going to be. A's matter. Grades matter. I'm not going to stand here and tell you to blow off your coursework, but A's are not the finish line. And treating them like the finish line is one of the fastest ways to be technically excellent and practically useless. So get a job, seriously. This is the part of the video where I will die on this hill. If you can work as a PCT, a patient care technician, a patient care aide, a CNA, whatever your hospital calls it, while you're in nursing school, do it. Even one shift every 2 weeks, even just on weekends. And here's why. When you graduate, everyone you're competing against for jobs has a nursing degree. That's the baseline. That's table stakes. The degree does not differentiate you anymore the second everyone in the applicant pool has one. You know what differentiates you? A nursing grad with a B average and a year of real floor experience is going to get a call back ahead of 10 graduates with 4.0s who have never been responsible for an actual patient. I'll say it clearly. Personally, I would take C's instead of B's across the board if it meant showing up to interviews having worked in a hospital. And that's how much I believe in this, because here's what clinicals don't teach you. In clinicals, you're not truly responsible for anything. There's an instructor, there's a nurse, there's a safety net under every single thing you do. The pressure isn't real. The accountability is not real. You're a student and everyone knows it and treats you accordingly. Working as a PCT, you're on the floor. The call light goes off, you answer it. The patient needs to be turned, you turn them. The family member is upset at the nurse's station and you deal with it. That is irreplaceable experience, and it shows up everywhere in your department as a nurse. And think about whatever else you've done. Have you ever been a bartender, EMT, worked in customer service, worked at McDonald's? And that stuff counts more than you might think. Every job where you had to de-escalate or frustrate your person, took on liability, manage multiple things at once, or just show up and be reliable and professional, that is nursing prep. I've worked with nurses who had 0 customer-facing experience before the floor and nurses who'd spent years in service industry jobs. The ones who knew how to read people, stay calm when someone was being difficult, and adapt on the fly, that wasn't from a textbook. Your grades tell a hiring manager you can learn. Your experience tells them you can function. Sleep, parties, and actually being a human up next. Well, get 8 hours of sleep, at least before clinicals, at least before exams. I know that sounds like something your mom says. I'm telling you as someone who's been on the other side of it. Sleep deprivation tanks clinical reasoning, and clinical reasoning is the actual skill nursing school is trying to build. You are measurably worse at the thing you're there to learn when you're running on basically no sleep. Now, should you go to parties? Honestly, probably. Within reason. Networking is real. Your cohort is going to be people you work with for the rest of your career. Some of your clinical instructors and professors are connected to hospitals you're going to apply to. The relationships you build in nursing school matter. And also, you are a person. You are not just a nursing student. 3 years of your life is a long time to not get to know your people, not have fun, not breathe. And that's not sustainable. That's not healthy. And it doesn't make you a better nurse. But like, don't come in sleep deprived and hungover to your anatomy final. Come on. You know the difference between a Thursday night that got away from you and genuinely not taking care of yourself. You're an adult. Make the call. The balance is protect your sleep before things that matter. Protect your relationships because they matter too. And don't pretend you can run on empty indefinitely. You can't. Nobody can. For the people who don't think they belong here. Okay. I don't want to talk directly to a specific group of you. The ones who are getting I want to talk directly to a specific group of you, the ones who are getting B's and feel like they're failing, the ones who see someone else breezing through the content and think something's wrong with them, the ones who are genuinely struggling right now and quietly wondering if this is a sign they should quit. Let me tell you something I've seen over and over again as a TA in anatomy and physiology and as a nurse. So many people, so many come in not believing that they have what it takes. And a lot of them still become excellent nurses, not because they suddenly become geniuses, but because they keep going. First, if you had a 4.0 before nursing school and now you're getting B's, that's completely normal. I had a 4.0 before nursing school, and in nursing school, I honestly just gave it up. I shot for B's. That was the goal. Not because I stopped caring, but because the material is harder, the questions are different, and the game changed. Adjusting to that is not failure, it's calibration. Now, for those of you who are really struggling, not B's, but genuinely fighting to pass right now, I want to ask you something honest. How long have you actually studied? Did you study 30 minutes for your anatomy practical and get a 55? Okay. Well, if that's true, then try 6 hours next time. Get a 70? We'll try 12 hours. And I'm not being glib. I mean that literally. And here's how I think about intelligence, and this might reframe things for you. IQ is basically the speed at which we learn things, and that's it. If you think you're not smart, and again, I'd push back on that, but even if we grant it, a lower IQ doesn't say anything about your social skills, your coordination, your ability to stay calm, your compassion, your grit, all the things that make an actual nurse. It might mean you have to study 2, 3, 4 times as long as the person next to you, but you get to the same place. The content gets in, it stays, you learn it, and you show up for the exam knowing it. The person sitting next to you who seems like they're barely trying and acing everything, well, they're not going to be a better nurse than you just because of that. Nursing is not a speed test. It's an endurance test. It rewards people who show up, who care, who do the work, who stay in when it's hard. And if there's one thing you take away from this entire video, it's this. Grit will take you 10 times further than smarts. 10 times. I've watched it happen. The students who grounded out, who stayed when it was hard, who asked for help and tried again, they're nurses now, good ones. And students who coasted on talent and never built the work ethic, some of them are too, but they hit a wall eventually, and the talent alone can't get them past it. Build the grit now. It's the most transferable skill you have. So let's talk about the NCLEX. Don't tap it with a mallet. All right, real talk. Some of you are going to get through nursing school just fine and struggle with the NCLEX. It happens. The NCLEX is its own beast, and finishing school doesn't automatically mean you're ready for it. So start early. Don't wait until after graduation to think about this. Get on UWorld or something like that, a platform that does benchmark testing and tells you if you score here on the practice test, you have a 98% chance of passing the real thing. So that's a 50-1 odds. That's pretty good. And for the nervous test takers in the room, because I know you're out there, that number is going to do more for your confidence than any pep talk I can give you. You want data telling you you're ready? Not just a feeling. Get the data. Now, if you're genuinely worried about passing, if it's keeping you up, if you know you're shaky, do not tap the material with a mallet. Slam it with a sledgehammer, because here's the math. An extra 50 hours of studying before your NCLEX is annoying. It's a lot. Nobody wants to do it. But you know what's worse? Missing 500 hours sitting on the sideline waiting for the next residency cohort because you failed for the first round. 500 hours where you were getting paid as a nurse and learning the real clinical experience. Programs run on cycles. You fail, you wait. And the time cost of failing is enormous compared to the time cost of over-preparing. So if there's any doubt, go harder. Study like you're going to fail if you don't, because the downside of overstudying is you pass comfortably. The downside of understudying is you restart the clock. All right, let me bring it home. You're in nursing school. It's going to be hard in ways you didn't expect, even if you've been an overachiever your whole life. It's going to require a different kind of thinking, a different kind of studying, and honestly, a different idea of what success looks like. Get a job on the floor if you can. Sleep before the things that matter. Don't disappear from your own life for 3 years. And if you're struggling, study more, ask for help, and don't confuse slow with incapable. The patients you're going to take care of, they don't need you to have been the smartest person in your cohort. They need you to show up, think clearly, give a damn, and be the kind of nurse people are glad walked into their room. You can be that. Most of you already have more of what it takes than you think. Now go study.